Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm engagement editor John A. Torres, and with only 1 week before Election Day, we're happy here at Florida Today to bring you the following forum featuring the two candidates vying for the mayor's job in Cocoa. We're happy to welcome incumbent mayor Mike Blake, who has been a mainstay in Cocoa politics for the last 17 years as either a member of the council or as mayor. And he is being challenged by George Allen Cowart, who is also no stranger to politics, as he ran for mayor in 2020 and previously served on the Brevard Soil and Water Conservation Board. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for being here.
Good morning.
We're also joined off camera right now. We are joined off camera by some members of the Florida Today editorial board who may chime in with a question or two as we go forward. So I'd like to start by asking you to each take up to 2 minutes and tell us about yourselves and why you're running. And we'll start with Mayor Blake. Go ahead.
Yes, top of the afternoon to everyone. My name is Michael C. Blake. I am the current mayor of the great city of Cocoa. And the reason why I'm running, I believe in great government. That's the best form of government because that's the closest form of government to the people. I have served the citizens of Cocoa for 17 years. And I look forward in continuing this relationship with the citizens of Cocoa. I graduated from South Carolina State University. I am a cocoa product, a true Cocoan. I graduated from Cocoa High School in 1978, and I played with the Miami Dolphins in 1987. Yeah. And I currently am the president of the Florida League of Cities, which I'm responsible for 411 municipalities. And I'm happy to say I am a product of Cocoa.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we have George Allen Cowart. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is George Allen Cowart. I'm also a product of Cocoa. My family settled Cocoa about 1905. I'm 4 generations out of 6 living in Cocoa. I've been in business for myself about 40 years. I'm very proud to be here. I've seen Cocoa change major through the last few years. And so we just need to look forward and see if we can make some changes and go from there.
Okay, great. Then we'll start with you again, George, which you actually, you prefer Allen, but on the ballot, it's going to say George Allen Cowart. So
yes, or whichever you want. That's fine.
Okay. Can you give me your honest assessment with the state of Cocoa? And if you had to pick one area that is in need of improvement, well, what would that be?
Starting in the city council, we need to get better communication. People need to be able to come out and say what's happening in the city, understand what's happening in city meetings. I've been to multiple meetings where they either wouldn't let you talk, or you may not understand. Some of them were council meetings and they're voting on things that you don't really understand, and you can't ask questions to see what it is that they're voting on. They group things together. So that's one of the areas. We need big area, actually. We need to work on communication with everybody that's here. That they all have an input because we work for them. We have a lot of new growth here out on 524. So we need to look at getting more businesses started in Cocoa. We need restaurants. US 1 has went vacant. There's many buildings up there that are vacant because we don't have any commercial growth. And also on 520, we got a lot of vacancies. So that's the big push, is getting that. We've got 1,800 new apartments being started and built out on 524. So we need to look at that. We need to look at the storm drains and water lines, make sure we got enough water for everybody. Cocoa supplies water for a lot of Cocoa Beach and Satellite Beach, Rockledge, and even now we're supplying back into Orlando. So we want to make sure that we can supply all that. We need to make sure our storm structures are equivalent, sewer lines and all that can be handled. We're dumping a lot of reuse water into the river still, and that needs to go to houses, not into the river. And some of the construction sites I've seen where they're letting it run on the neighborhoods, get around it, get water from the projects, and they shouldn't be letting them do that at all. It should be contained on the sites. So that's kind of the big push. We need to look at how the development's done and go into that a little bit more. I've been a site developer guy for over 40 years, and so I'm well familiar with the under drain. I'm well familiar with how Cocoa is built and all the lots. There's not been much area in Cocoa I haven't been on it this time. So that's the big push to me. We need to make sure that it gets under control.
Okay, and the same question for you now, Mike. What area, an area or two in which Cocoa needs improvement?
Well, I really do not feel that we have a major drastic improvement because we're moving in the right direction. A lot of the Northwest Corridor area is our last of the great frontier. We're developing in that area where we reside, where potentially Brightline train will be located. That area is growing immensely. We are making sure that we protect our infrastructure, our wastewater treatment plant. We've addressed the issues of flooding. That area is growing. Not only that, but the developers pay an impact fee that will ascend our level in reference of moving up the chart for the development of 524. And we also allocated funding for that. And I think it's imperative that if you build that area, they will come. I am also being a product of a school teacher in the city of Cocoa. So a lot of my students reside there as well. And they're the age of 18 and voting. And they've, voiced their concern and they're pleased. I've been canvassing that area as well. And we're being proactive right about now. We're replacing a lot of the old outdated pipe infrastructure and making it modernized. But more so than anything else, we've been capturing that water. We're one of the best municipalities in Brevard County in reference of capturing our runoff water and processing it at the Dow plant and addressing that area as we see growth in the Indian River Lagoon. When the seaweed or seagrass grows and the population of fish improve, we know we're doing and moving in the right direction. And I have the utmost confidence in our city manager, our staff, and our directors of our water infrastructure and our public works department as well. So the concerns that I've received from the citizens of Cocoa, they are embracing the changes, the positive changes that we're doing in the city of Cocoa, and we will continue to move in that direction.
Okay, Mike, we're going to start this question with you now. You just mentioned Brightline, and you also quoted one of my favorite movies, like Field of Dreams. But you have some exciting things on the horizon with the Amazon facility coming, the Brightline train stop in the works. But what can be done, if anything, more to attract more businesses to Cocoa?
As we enhance a place of affordable living, one of the primary rules consists of if we provide more rooftops here in our community and a place where our population is enhanced, then that will accommodate businesses coming to our area. And that will also bring jobs to our area. The intent of Cocoa is to have you pray, stay, and educate yourself within the confinement of the great city of Cocoa. Within a quarter-mile distance, you can also do your VPK, primary education, secondary education. You can get your graduate degree. You can get your four-year degree and your postgraduate degree. We've enhanced our economic base as well. Everything is basically centralized in the Northwest Corridor area. We met with our congressional members at Washington, D.C. We had an entourage of various individuals ranging from Linda Weatherman to Georgiana Gillette from TPO. Also, Michael Lord, who's the chairman of the board at the cruise terminal with the port authorities, myself, my city manager, and the senior vice president, Hussein Comfort, who also attended this trek that we took during the month of August. So we spoke with Senator Rick Scott and also met with Congressman Posey. We met with Senator Rick Scott so that we can acquire and ascertain the $48.5 million to start our project. The city of Cocoa has also invested our own dollars in also acquiring and putting skin in the game so that we can have Brightline there. And Brightline facility will accommodate, it's about 9,800 square feet. We will have surface level parking. We will have input, and it's not etched in concrete yet, but I do trust this opportunity so that we can develop that corridor area. The most important thing is provide safety for the citizens of Cocoa. We've invested in brand new equipment, fire trucks. We've invested in new apparatuses for the fire department, police vehicles, radios, radio systems, so that we can help the citizens of Cocoa and also be applicable with the county and the federal level so that we can communicate with them. So clearly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, out of our $12 million budget, we invested $5 million with our own funds to support and endorse Brightline. The county gave us $5 million. EDC was also instrumental in this. So it's collectively and collaboratively speaking, a team effort. And that's the thing that more so than anything else, as we met with the various individuals of transportation and also the Chris's grant, also pertaining to the railroad system, they were thoroughly impressed on how clearly defined and concise that we're moving forward to this. And again, when you invest in people, it comes back 12 times the fold. And that is the reason why I'm looking at jobs, jobs, jobs. Within a 2-mile radius, you will have a train station, you will have the Amazon fulfillment center, you will have the expansion of Caltech also to there. You will also have the advancement of VIA, who's also a part of our industrial space industry program. The city of Cocoa has 3 major space industry programs right within the confinement of the city limits of Cocoa. That consists of VIA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. So clearly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, people are relocating here along with affordable living. Matter of fact, the great city of Cocoa, we're the first in Brevard County to have Live Act, where they will provide affordable living designed for teachers, firefighters, police officers. This is the first time ever in Brevard County as well. And again, if I may reemphasize, our educational program, we invest in the citizens of Cocoa. Our students at Cocoa High School, prior to them graduating from Cocoa High School, they have opportunity to attend our fire academy or our police department. So we're investing in the citizens of Cocoa with a lifelong career. And that is the greatest important thing when you invest in a quality education, so that they can have a quality lifestyle and also provide a safe, structured environment for their home life. And then they'll feel a part of the American process. That is the most important, their civic duty. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Alan, you can take as much time with your answer. And then I forgot to mention, so with our upcoming questions, we want to try to limit these to like 2-minute responses for each of you guys. We'll have Tim Walters will be hopefully watching the time, but you can take as much time with this, Alan, as you want. So Alan, again, the question is, with some exciting things on the horizon, Amazon and Brightline, what else can be done to attract more business?
I've been listening to the answers on other stuff, but we've had 4 years already and nothing's happening. We have many vacant buildings, so we need to try to give tax breaks. We need to try to get people. We got a driving school opening up at what was Clear Lake Junior High, which is a great thing. We need to get more stuff like that here. We need to do more stuff for trades. I know Blue Origin, all those other guys are looking for tradesmen. They're not looking for professional degrees. You talked about West Cocoa and all the growth. We got a lot of growth. There's a lot of schools here. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, BCCs here. We got all high schools and all that. But when you're looking at trying to get the growth, we need to get restaurants. We got just in the apartments. That's almost 4,000 people just going to be in the 4 apartments that have been finished and under construction now. We got to find some place to feed these people. With the Brightline, looking at that area out there, we do need to look at some concerns on the wetland issues. Some of these projects, they have wetlands on them. They need to mitigate them. I was at a meeting on the one being done. They need to address those problems also. It's not just developing and building stuff. We need to look at the environmental impacts on some of this stuff. So businesses are the major push. We need to do whatever we can. We're giving tax breaks to open to businesses to build and open here. That's a great thing. We need to continue to do it. We need to do it more than we do for apartment complexes. We got a bunch of people here, and everybody needs to work. Everybody wants to work. I'd like to see what we're doing in other sections of town where we got a lot of Section 8 housing and a lot of growth in those areas, where those people getting out of Section 8, getting jobs because they're not here, or not getting jobs because they're not here, or they're not taking jobs because they're not here, or they're getting, there's jobs out there. And most people I know are looking for employees. So when you're trying to get employees jobs, you got to go look for it. You got to ask to work somewhere. You got to be willing to do different things. So I don't know. We got so many vacant buildings now, and we need to just promote Cocoa as a great place to be. And with the start of Blue Origin, all those guys have been going on. We got the train station when it starts. Yeah, there'll be a lot of jobs that can be from that, parking garages and everything else. But we need to look at where we're doing it and how to make it done correctly, without just getting too carried away with we're going to build this and build this. But we got a lot of growth in Cocoa, so we just need to make it work. It's a big thing.
Okay, great, guys. Thank you. For the next question, we're going to start with Alan first. We've received a few emails here at Florida Today about the mood, let's say, at the city council meetings. Maybe isn't the greatest, and that some public comment issues have arisen. You mentioned this, Alan, I think in your opening statement a little bit. What can be done to try to get the public more involved in city council meetings and more open style of government?
What amazed me was going to the city council meetings when we're talking about the budget, and there's not but 3 people in the audience area, and then they only wanted to give the one person 3 minutes total. They broke it up in 2 sections, so they should have gave her a minimum of 3 minutes in each section. But I'm surprised that people aren't showing up, and it's because they're telling me when we're there we don't get to say anything. They don't let us. We fill out a card. I filled out a card at the last meeting, and they wouldn't let us turn it in. Another gentleman filled out a card at the last meeting. They wouldn't let him turn it in, and it was a compliment to the city of Cocoa. So it wasn't a complaint. They're not all going to be complaints, but you got to let people get in there and give their questions, comments, and concerns. That's my biggest question when I ask people, what is your question, comments, concerns in Cocoa? And I'm hearing a lot of stuff like that. So you got to open up the meetings, especially if there's 1 or 2 people. We're going to limit them to 3 minutes, and it may be a 5-minute thing they have to say. But if there's nobody else here, why are we doing that? I wore a shirt in. I was asked to take it off or turn it inside out. Did not know there was a rule about that. I was more than happy to do that. Never said anything about it. Didn't plan on causing any problem with that. So sometimes you don't know things and you find out later. But that's kind of what happened with that. So I don't know. We just got to be able to. Well, I didn't even know where to turn a card in when I went in. There was nobody down in that. Half the people weren't in the meeting. It was moved an hour early because the storm was coming in 3 days. So I'm not sure why that happened. But then if you showed up 15 minutes late, you couldn't turn a comment card in. So I don't know how where to turn that in at. So that's kind of the big on that side of that situation is where I'm looking at.
Okay, thanks. And for Mayor Blake, what do you say about that, sir?
In reference, it is called representative democracy. It is the trust and belief of the citizens of Cocoa that officials that they elect, they choose, they state their causes and identify and convey their thoughts. And that is the reason why it's called representative democracy. In reference of his card, we always ask that you submit your cards at the beginning of the meeting. We start punctually on time, normally at 6 p.m., sir. We will never deny anyone from speaking when they submit a card. There's an individual that's been there ever since we opened up our new city hall that's right there on the corner. She sits there on the corner and everyone passes their cards to them. And we give them the opportunity to submit their cards. There is a few individuals that come there and speak all the time, and we give them their allotted time, which is 3 minutes, to elaborate on their concerns. Now, if they are one of the individuals that's petitioning the board itself or the council, if they are a developer, we will extend their time. We will give additional time when an individual may speak on behalf of someone else, but we normally give them that opportunity to do so, as long as they have some form of statement showing that. My concern right about now is that the citizens believe in council. Crime is down in the city of Cocoa. We're reduced by 11%. Violent crime is down, and the total crime is down. And this is certified individuals who talk about and receive this information and submit it to FDLE, and also they submit it to the FBI. My other concern, since we're talking about this, and I know we have only 2 minutes to expound on this, knowledge is power. So when you're able to understand the rules and the guideline, then we will give you the opportunity to speak. No one has never denied them the right from speaking. There's just
Okay,
a
thanks,
few
Mayor. We're going to have to
individuals
stop you
who
there.
supersede that time.
But I would like to keep on with you now, Mike, as well for this next question. And you touched on this before, the infrastructure of the city. I want to focus on the roads. What is the state of the roads as Brevard County continues to grow, as more and more people travel on our roads? What is the state of the roads in Cocoa, and is there a plan to keep the infrastructure up?
The city of Cocoa has invested several hundreds of thousands of dollars to enhance the paving and conditions and improve the conditions of the roads in the city of Cocoa. For the past 4 years, we've been doing this to focus on our roadways because we believe in safety, safety, safety. We've increased funding additionally for parks as well, and also acquire funding from the state and local partners. For an example, when we have our developers, they come into the city of Cocoa, they pay an impact fee. The city has committed approximately $5 million in impact fees to accelerate the widening of 524. Furthermore, we will have made millions of dollars in improvements to that area in time to come. We've escalated up the chain of commands through FDOT. We were once upon a time, once I joined the board, the TPL board, I had the opportunity to meet John Tyler and Chuck, who's affiliated with FDOT, so that we're now in one of the potential up and coming developments for the 524 corridor area, addressing the development on 524, and also having Brightline there, and also having Cirrus, a condo unit that is located right there, which was once upon a time a rundown, dilapidated area, the old Winn-Dixie. Now we have a condo units, over 100 plus units there with a sky roof, so you can see the launches at nighttime from Frameworks, who will also be developing in the downtown area. So clearly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we are addressing the concerns of the citizens of Cocoa and also addressing the traffic control so that we can meet and have a fair and equitable solution so that we keep our roads safe and continue to invest in paving and upgrading the roadway there.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Alan, the same question, the roads in Cocoa, and what can be done to keep them up to par?
Well, most of the roads in Cocoa are in pretty good shape. DOT's doing 520 again. They just finished Clear Lake Road, which there seemed to be a bunch of conversation on that. One time, I guess City of Cocoa had input in that. Then I was told by people they were told that City of Cocoa did not have input into that. It's a very, to me now, hazardous road to drive any trucks down because people are hitting. You got to straddle the middle line, or you're going to hit barricades on each side. At the last City Hall meeting we had, or City Workshop, we had a gentleman from DOT there who's now going from Michigan around to Industry Road, and they're talking about putting a traffic circle in down in front of the Walmart. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea or not with all the big trucks traveling in that area. 524 definitely needs to be done. That's about the main focus road that needs work around here. I mean, all the roads we got in the city of Cocoa, we got a couple range road needs some work, but nothing major. So most of the roads are in good shape. We don't have any roads that are, like Palm Bay, just falling apart. Cocoa's done a real good job keeping up with them. We've got projects like River Road. They're trying to get a new sewer line put down it. There's federal money for that, and they just need to move on with getting that done. And then that road will get repaved down to where they stop. So that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. And a lot of it, if we can use federal money, state money to make it happen, I'm more than happy to make it work. So, 524, yes, that's one of the big conversations because it goes into 2 lanes all the way out to the end. And they need to go ahead and get it 4 lane because we got the Walmart plant out there, warehouses, and then trucks coming and going from it all the time, plus all the traffic from the neighborhoods now. So we definitely need to work on that area. But that's the main area that we really have concerns about and problems with. Most, like I said, US 1 was rebuilt a while back. We got 520. Everything downtown's just got repaved. So they're doing a fantastic job with that. So, like I said, we just need to work on that one area. We both agree on that.
Okay, perfect. And that was right at 2 minutes. So thank you for for doing that. We're going to turn it over right now to Executive Editor Mara Bellaby, who has a question. So Mara, you can go ahead.
Hey guys, thank you. Yeah, this I'll just preface by saying, as executive editor, I'm always well aware that I'm an exclusivity on all the good ideas. So I'm always interested in hearing from others. And so one of my question to both of you is, can you give us an example of where you have heard, maybe it's been during the campaign, maybe it's been, during your service in government, where a citizen or someone else has come up with an idea that you did not think of yourself, but that you fully embraced and, went with because it was such a good idea. Thank you.
And it was starting with Alan on this one.
That's one of the questions. When I introduce myself to people, I ask them questions, comments, and concerns about cocoa. And if they have a question or a problem, I ask them to do one thing is to give me one solution. And that helps them to understand the problem a little bit more. So then they may be able to understand that it's not an overnight problem. It's not going to be an overnight solution. Most problems are not overnight solutions. So, yeah, I mean, it's something you got to address. You listen to them. I've not had anybody except city council meetings have been a big concern, and I won't beat that horse. But, well, of course, Clear Lake Road's been a big problem, and there's no way to straighten that out unless we go in there and start taking it apart. But, I listen to people. I think that I know I don't know all the answers. I know Mike knows he don't know all the answers, but we know people that we can ask questions to and get the right answers and be able to go and say, okay, now we can attack it. You're looking at the river. The river's got many issues, and there's a lot of concern in that area. But there again, it's, Cocoa needs to step up and get some of that money because there's been nothing happen from river to river in cocoa in the river money. So we need to use the state money and federal money whenever we can to solve problems that we have. So, yeah, I do ask people all the time, what kind of problems or what their concerns are in cocoa, and I hear a lot of different ones. I'm hearing about the police department, which is there. They got some issues they need to straighten out. So we just need to, work with them and try to help them and go with it.
Okay, thank you. Mike, the same question, please.
Yes, excellent question, John and Mara. Yes, ma'am. My answer to that is House Bill 1365, the homeless. We have a remedy. A citizen brought this to my attention on Camp Road. We have Sheriff Wayne Ivy's iron bar there. We have the juvenile detention center there. Once upon a time, we used to have the DOC, the Department of Corrections there. And they had a facility there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they demoed it. And we have the land that's there that's located in Brevard County. And that citizen brought to my attention is why don't we utilize that area as a way so that we can provide shelter and vetting process for the citizens of Cocoa and Brevard County. And I went and shared that with the various individuals, Brevard Homeless Coalition, who I am on their executive board of directors, and I speak with them constantly, and also with our city managers, and also through the Space Coast League of Cities, where we have all 16 municipalities there under one roof, and we discussed that issue, House Bill 1365, and we have 501c3 organizations like Matthews Hope that's there, that provide a venue and avenue along with Family Promise, the Methadone Clinic. See, the city of Cocoa, we have a plan for that. And we're one of the few cities in the city of Cocoa that will address that concern. And that is the reason why, yes, I do listen to my citizens. 2 simple rules for my citizens, I believe. Rule number one, citizens comes first. Rule number two, go back to rule number one, citizens come first. So I listen to my constituents, those that bring very valid points that illustrate and convey their thoughts and demonstrate their needs for the love of their city, our city, Team Coco.
Oh, okay, thank you, Mike. I think Alan wants to respond to that, so we'll give him 1 minute here to respond.
The piece of property he was talking to up at the sheriff's department is now a new maintenance barn. It's been finished. It's been all that. So that jail project, or the old prison, is now a county maintenance area. And then they have the dog kennel down in one end of it, and the mounted unit has a training area in the back of that area. Along with the homeless, I've had more people talking about homeless than anything else. The governor has now signed a thing that you can't, you're not supposed to sleep on basically any government-owned property. But then he says we got to have property for homeless people to go. So, it's when you got 80% of them want to be homeless, and a lot of those have mental issues also. You're not going to be able to help those no matter what we do, but we need to help the 20% that want a house and want somewhere to go and get a job. So there's a lot of companies, a lot of organizations that will do that. But, I think that we do need to look and try to find some better solutions for them.
To rebuttal that, if I may, John.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
They don't utilize the entire piece of property, and even if they did, there's still portions of that property that they can utilize. Even on Plucky Palm, you can build and facilitate individuals there that's in the county, because see, House Bill 1365 deals with the counties. It lies in the laps of the county. And the county can come to a municipality and ask a municipality, would you participate in this? And the city has the option to say either yes or no. But we're all in this together. And that is the reason why we have, like I said, the city of Cocoa has a game plan. And I alluded to that through Matthew's Hope. And also the point that we're saying, the county owns property throughout the county. So it's not, just in NIMS, not in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is to address this concern, because we're going to need to do this. It's a potential lawsuit, because that's what's going to happen. Someone's going to, lay it down there on the streets, on the sidewalk. And I've seen it in all 16 municipalities. And we're going to have to address that issue. And it's going to end up in the state courts. And eventually it may go to the federal courts. But in the meantime, we have to have an immediate solution. And tent city is not the answer. I cannot treat my brother or sister that way, period, point blank. I am my brothers and sisters' keeper. And we have an answer.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to stop you right there. We have a question from Tim Walters. So we'll bring him in the studio. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? My question comes mainly from, I am one of the many people who quite often use the Hubert Humphrey Bridge to get between Cocoa and Merritt Island back through Cocoa. And of course, now that the construction's completed through there, it looks wonderful, but the traffic backup has become even more of a headache. So I'm curious, I talk to a lot of people. I've heard some radical ideas, things like put walkways that go up over the street and then have fewer lights and entryways as you go through Cocoa Village. What are you guys thinking about studying on some way to help some of that backup that can go all the way over the bridge and all the way back to 520?
Great question, Tim. And we're going to start here with I believe it's Mike on this one.
Are you speaking to eastbound and westbound, or just which bound?
Yes, both of them, both of them, especially.
Good question, sir. But we're still under construction on the westbound lane, as you can see. Matter of fact, I just went over this morning coming from Home Depot, and yes, sir, we do have flashing lights that will tell you there is congestion there, and also give you your speed in which you're traveling, until they complete the construction of 520, sir, and slow the traffic down and coordinate and synchronize all the lights, because they're still working on that area on both sides, eastbound and westbound. And that's, as you know, an FDOT issue. So we're constantly collaborating with FDOT so that we can maybe make that smooth transition, so that we do not get a congested area where you sit there stagnant on top of Humphrey Bridge. But once the completion of the construction takes place, they would coordinate and synchronize the lights so we would have a smooth, consistent flow of traffic. They're going to slow everything down because in the eastbound lane, they had that slingshot lane where people would get in that far right lane and accelerate and try to beat all the traffic. Well, that's been taken away. They've widened the sidewalk so that we will slow the traffic down and eliminate accidents. And yes, they're doing it both on the eastbound side and the westbound side as well. They've taken away a couple of lanes so that you can travel at a more safely speed than ever. But until we get that issue of construction completed, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, expect the headaches.
Okay, great. And Alan, the same question for you, sir.
Well, like everybody else, I've been stuck trying to come back to Cocoa from the island. So yeah, until they they can synchronize those lights. Really, there's only, I think, 4 to 5 right up in there all the way to US 1 that can be synchronized at any time. They don't have to wait till they're done. But the westbound heading towards the island, I've never really had that much backup except normal stopping where people trying to go across the lights. Cocoa's missing about 400 parking places, which seemed to be a big conversation. And I thought they were going to gain some when they were taking out that one turn lane. They just made them big grass, which is nice to have nature and more grass areas with palms and everything else put in them. But until they do finish it and they say they're done with it, you go down there, it seems to be all paved. And I don't know what problem. I know City Cocoa had a line break down there about 2 weeks ago. So they had to cut up the brand new asphalt, of course. So until that happens, I think we're going to have to be a little more understanding of traffic until then. But as Mayor Blake said, they can synchronize those at any time and get that. We can get through the town pretty quick, and hopefully they'll do that soon.
Okay, and we have one more. Actually, we have a question from Executive Editor Mara Bellaby.
Both of you referenced the police department, and I just wanted to hear a little bit more about whether there's any new initiatives or your thoughts on, just on fighting crime, on helping make sure citizens feel safe as they move around Cocoa. Thank you.
And we're starting with Alan on this one.
All right. As a deputy, I've been a deputy for Brevard County for 10 years. I understand a lot about law enforcement and how things need to be done and not to be done. I've had a lot of conversations with officers from City of Cocoa. The union has voted they don't back the chief now. That needs to be addressed. We've got other issues. We've got a lot of people leaving. And that's the question is that if there's that many people leaving, why? So they need to look into it. They need to find out why they're leaving. Ask them. The ones that are, they're going to tell you the truth if they leave. Every department's looking for people. There's no doubt of that. Brevard County, the sheriff's department is. A lot of those people are leaving. They're going to higher paying jobs, which is, not doubtful in society. But you shouldn't lose as many people as we have lost. City of Cocoa is still in the top 10%. And as I've seen lately, the top 1% of crime per capita in the country. So we're not supposed to be that high in crime. We've, when we got a new chief, should have dropped down. There's an award made that we've lost 14%. Well, we've lost 14%. We're still listed in the top 10. That's still not good. We need to work on that better. We've got gangs that are here. We've got motorcycle organizations that are here. So we need to look at some of that and see what we need to do to address those problems. And that hadn't been happening. I've not got too public on most of that because it's just stuff that needs to be done in-house more than telling everybody what's happening.
Okay, Mayor Blake, same question.
Thank you very much, John. I beg to differ with my opponent. Clearly, I don't know where he's getting his resources from, but the city of Cocoa will continue to, prioritize safety and well-being for the citizens of Cocoa. We've replaced vehicles. We've modernized our equipment. We have a police academy where we get individuals, like I alluded to earlier, from the city of Cocoa, a lifelong resident with a lifelong career with the city of Cocoa. Our occupancy is at its maximum potential. And here's the reason why. Crime is down. Overall, total crime is down 11%. This is certified bona fide by an individual who submits this information to FDLE and the FBI. So I don't know where he's getting his resources from. I find that concerning. We're also focusing on reducing the crime rate and enhancing our community police relationship. We take initiatives such as the Chief Walk, Community Walk. We're expanding our mental health support for first responders. The Mental Health Mobile Response Unit, in partnership with our police department, will help individuals in crisis who receive assistance and the need of taking any into custody, breaking the cycle of arrest and release. So my thing is, we will continue to invest in the citizens of Cocoa. We've had police officers go and come back and found out the grass was not that green after all. The city of Cocoa, under the leadership of Chief Collier, has done a phenomenal job. Crime is down. And we have the data to support that. And it's certified data. And you can't lie when it's certified, bona fide information. So our positions will only leave 1 to 2 vacancies. Matter of fact, one of my former students just left the IT department, and joined the police department. So clearly the positions are no longer like we've had in the past. The vacancies are being filled. And there again, it's not a strength.
I have to stop you there, Mayor. I'm sorry. We're like well over 2 minutes, and I think Alan wants to respond to that. Once I say, go ahead, Alan. You have 1 minute, please.
Mayor, I know the calls, and I know them personally, that they've called to have people written up for trespassing. And the gentleman just turned around and said, "I'm not going to give you my name," and started walking off. And the officer would not do anything because they were told not to write reports, and he couldn't stop him because he wouldn't give him his name. That gentleman should have went to jail. There's other things like that are happening all around, and you're not going to lower rates by not writing reports. I've been told that they wouldn't give a ticket to somebody because they didn't look like they could afford it. That's not how it's done. I'm not going to say that's 100% truth, but that's what people are telling me. And so, you can't lower the crime rate by not reporting it. It's not going to work. It's when people feel safe. If you can feel safe walking down the street, not have any problem doing that, that's how you prove that crime's good and we don't have any problems. But we've got things like that need to be addressed. You do need to look at the internal of the police department. There is a lot more to it than what you're saying. And I'm not going to go to it on this, but I'll get with you if you want to, and we can make some discussions on it. I'll be glad to.
I believe in the leadership of Chief Collier, Commander DeVale, Markika, and the lieutenants. I trust their opinion because that is their lifestyle and that is their livelihood. And I believe them. They've always been straightforward with me. And all I'm saying is I'm just looking at the data that is submitted to FDLE and to the FBI. It is the same person who's been doing this for numerous years, and they're certified bona fide. Now, you may have individuals that are disgruntled and may have a different narrative, but when I do ride with the police department, I do go and be with the lieutenants. I do attend the community walks throughout the initiatives with the chief community walks, and also expanding our mental health program. We are addressing the concerns, and clearly there's a correlation because I've had individuals come to me, both in the downtown area and in the North Corridor area, that they feel safe. They're happy to see the presence of our police department in their community, and they see a difference.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. We are closing in on 1 hour here, so I'm going to ask you guys to each, take 1 minute to give us your pitch. Tell the voters why they should be voting for you on Election Day. We'll start with Alan. You have 1 minute, and then the mayor. Thank you.
Well, as the mayor said, he's been here for 17 years. I think it's time for a change. Cocoa needs a change. We're not going to improve unless we start looking at other areas. I don't believe anybody should be in office that long and not have much challenge or much aggression to go towards to change it and make things happen. Yes, we've got a lot of growth. We've got 524. We've got a lot of stuff. Going back to downtown Cocoa, I got a lot of people down there telling me there's a lot of crime down there. So let's put cameras up down there. Let's get it where we can do that. There's a lot of money that's happening just for downtown Cocoa every year that would carry that very easily. We've got a lot of growth going again. And so we need to look at what it's going to do to the areas that we're putting it in, not only city people, but county people. A whole neighborhood got passed. And Mr. Blake said, we're only going to build what's matching neighborhoods. And I pointed out the fact that they weren't matching the neighborhood with that building. And he said, well, they're not in the city. So we're not only supposed to match the city, we're supposed to match the county, the community, and fit in and make a nice deal. So by only looking at what the city wants and what the city needs, they're not looking at what's surrounding it. Right next door, people selling their houses because they don't want a neighborhood next to them. And that's because they went to quarter-acre lots when everything out there is 1-acre lots. So, you know, we need to look at that kind of stuff along with just saying we need the growth. We need to do stuff. It needs to be done right.
Okay, great, Alan. Thank you very much. And now, Mayor Blake, 1 minute, please, on why people should be voting for you.
As the city of Cocoa continues to grow through proper development, to providing safety, public safety, and community engagement, we will continue to promote our beautiful city. We have small businesses and large businesses that attract individuals to come to our community. We invest in our community through the citizens of Cocoa, through scholarships and grants, through the We Adventure programs, the Upstart Small Business programs. We're also having facilities like Amazon to continue to have the first mile facility, which creates a significant job opportunities to boost our local economy. Even my opponent says, I like Mike. So if you like Mike, vote for Mike. He's right, because everything he's saying we're doing, and we're doing it in a positive way, because our population base is continuing to grow. We're enhancing our local economy. We're addressing the concerns of the citizens of Cocoa, and we will continue to move forward and provide safety and also affordable homes. Yes, in the city of Cocoa, if you're a police officer or firefighter or teacher, the first in Brevard County, in the city of Cocoa, we take advantage of that. That is creative thinking. We're thinking out of the box. I believe in the city of Cocoa. I will stand with the city of Cocoa because we want you to pray, stay, and educate yourself in the city of Cocoa. Team Cocoa, every day, all day.
Great, guys. We really appreciate your time and for being here. And the residents of Cocoa have a lot to mull over. I hope that this forum helps them. I'm John Torres, and you've been watching FloridaToday.com. Thank you very much.